This week, I'm taking you with me to a beautiful coastal town, Edenton, North Carolina, for a plein air weekend. Back home, we'll break out our sketchbooks and paint a floral arrangement, and I'll give you all my details, and tour a museum. We start by settling into our Airbnb, getting everything unpacked and ready for the next few days of painting.
That's a big step.
It's such a cute little house, and Mr. John has it fully stocked. That evening, we head to dinner at the Herringbone and ease into a slower pace of this historic little town. Oh, it's so good. We've got good views. After dinner, we take a walk down to the Roanoke River Lighthouse. The light, the water, the quiet, it already feels like the perfect place to paint. The next morning begins at the Cupola House, where I pick up my goodie bag and find out where I'll be painting. It's in walking distance to my Airbnb, which is nice. There is such a great excitement in the air with all the painters and everybody picking up their bags. It's already a lot of fun. Each of the artists' name is listed under where they're going to paint for day 1 and day 2. Day 1, I'm going to be at the Beverly House. I set up at the Beverly House, a place that is full of history. It used to be a bank, and yes, the original vault is still inside. So this is where I'm painting for today, and I've got to decide where I want to get. There's so many choices. Here's the one we did in our sketchbook last week. This is actually what I really wanted to paint, but I'll explain later why I didn't. That night is the Art in Bloom show. 12 artists, 12 paintings, each one paired with a floral arrangement. It was such a beautiful way to see the art. And this is my piece. We enjoyed the sunset on our walk home. All right, this is day 2, and I'm at the Hayes farm. The Hayes farm was my favorite spot. I found a quiet little area in the shade and spent time painting the house and surrounding flowers. It's peaceful, inspiring, and exactly what I hoped this weekend would feel like. I even had a little squirrel come and visit me and little bugs, but that was fine. After packing up, I returned to the Airbnb, gather all my paintings, and take them back to the Cupola House for the paint sale. In 1970s, the association expanded its property holdings and restored this flower and herb garden based on 18th century designs. It is such a beautiful place, especially holding this plein air event. The home was built in 1758, making it the oldest home in Edenton. The name Cupola House comes from the small structure on top of the roof, a feature that was both decorative and practical, allowing light and air to move through the home. You can see inside they're restoring the Cupola House, a long-term preservation effort featuring a major project returning the original interior woodwork from the Brooklyn Museum for room-by-room reinstallation all through this year and last. Even the colors are being brought back to its original 18th century color palette. I think one of the colors is called seaweed. It's matched up to the original 250-year-old colors. And here's my little table with my paintings. My favorite ended up being the lighthouse. I did a watercolor sketch on the etcher cards that I had received and left it for Mr. John just as an appreciation for his hospitality and letting me stay there. A quick bite before heading to the airport. I'm back home, and this was waiting on me when I got here. This was something that I had ordered before I left, and I thought it would be in time, but it wasn't. But also before I left, it was Haley's birthday, and she got the most beautiful bouquet of flowers, and I thought we could do some sketchbook work with her flowers. And I wanted to talk to you about my actual experience, and if you go, like, some tips or thoughts on that. So they have a color chart and comes with a water brush pen. But I have this one. Also, I picked this up at the airport, this moleskin. I picked it up because I love that color. And they always have pockets, and I like that. But I want to talk to you more about what I'm planning to do with all my sketchbooks and how I use them also. But I kind of wanted to test. I probably should spray these first. Let me spray them. Okay, I gave them a little bath, and I wrote out with the line markers that they gave me, and I wrote them here too, and I'll go over it with water, and let's see if they're waterproof. But I am curious on how intense. Oh, that's pretty intense. Mango, poppy red, autumn brown. I think what we can do is maybe we should paint our flowers with these in our sketchbook. That ocean blue is really pretty. Artichoke. Meadow. And I've got a bit of water on this, so I think actually you could get this a little better. All right, let me move this over. And my last two is natural brown and storm gray. And these are both water resistant. I have my water in this yogurt jar. Did y'all ever buy this yogurt? I love this yogurt. I save all these little containers for my watercolor. I think they're nice. I'm gonna work in this Delusions sketchbook. So just get your sketchbook out. Is that lined up? No pressure, just having fun. So first thing is I packed way too much. My suitcase was overflowing with ink, pens, pencils, just anything you could possibly even imagine. I packed, and I knew better. I knew not to pack that much. I had pre-planned the week before with you. Remember, I went through my sketchbook, pre-planned my all my little palettes that I had. But still in my head I was like, oh, but what if I want a sketchbook, and what if I want to use watercolor paper, and so that's that. I packed way too much. Not only did I pack too much, I didn't pack the little attachment on the bottom of the pochade box, which would have allowed me to put it on my tripod. So I did not have my easel, which would have been very useful and helpful, right? So there's number one problem. I mean, not that it was a problem, I made do. This event was truly very, very casual. It was a casual event, and I will say this: all artists are just the nicest group of people, and I met some really nice people, and I hope I can stay in touch with a lot of them because they were so nice and helpful. So day one was at the Beverly House, which was the old bank, and it was the one that I had done in my sketchbook previously. This one. I had done this one with you before, the Garden Glow, and I had a limited palette. But because I did not have my easel and my tripod set up, I had to kind of make do, and I used this, it's called the Nano by Etcher, and you put this across your body, and this kind of rests kind of on your hip or hangs at your waist, and then you can put your sketchbook or your panel on it. So I tried it out, and I started at that fountain, and then this is the house. This is like, there's another garden in between this, so they're not that close together. But that's how I started in my sketchbook with the Nano. And then I took this panel, and going into this garden is this garden. This is kind of when I knew, okay, you better calm down. You've got all these colors. I mean, my golden rule is you should have one star color and the rest kind of toned down. Well, I've got a lot of star colors going on here, and so And this I painted on the Nano, and I thought it's too hard to stand there. I didn't have any place for my paint, so I'm trying to navigate all of that. The one thing that did come in handy is this clip. So I could just clip it here, and then my toolkit just popped right on there, and that worked out really well. So by the house, there was a wrought iron table that had some tulips and some, I think, pansies maybe. And I kind of set up over there because I could sit down, and there were these kind of the porch steps that I sat on, and I'm used to I like doing still life, so I thought this might be a good option for me to sit down, have all my paints and everything around me. And again, I just had too much paint, and day one I couldn't get a feel for things. I just felt out of sorts. I felt like I didn't have I had a lot of equipment, but not the right kind of equipment, if that makes sense. So it actually kind of started to sprinkle, and I went ahead and left the Beverly house. So I left the Beverly house, and then day 2 was the Hayes farm. And the Hayes farm is huge, but here's the house, and I found a spot by the house so I could see the house, and it was cool over in that area. I had the trees, I had a great view, and that worked out so much better. And I did not take a bunch of stuff. I just took my acrylic paints. I did have one panel. Here's the panel I had. I took this panel. I kind of used this as a sketchbook just to get a feel of the house and get my feet wet kind of thing, right? So I took that, and I just used that kind of as a starting point. And then the other thing I was kind of worried about was, are a lot of people going to be, talking to me? To be honest with you, it was so enjoyable. You wouldn't think that it would be that enjoyable just to talk to a bunch of people you don't even know, but it really was. I mean, there were so many nice people, and people from all over. Like, I met people there was a couple from Missouri. There was Texas was there. I mean, it was just a lot of people, and a lot of nice people. So I just enjoyed that day. And the one thing about it was, well, there are some people there that they definitely, this is their season. Like, they have their plein air season just planned out. They live for this season. And so I think some of them had said, like, they had gone to another plein air event like the weekend before, and this was their second stop for their plein air adventures. Some of them had their trucks. Some of them were just loaded down. Like, they had just filled their truck, and then they would pull the back of their truck around, and they had just all their supplies in the back of the truck. Then after I was painting at the Beverly House, what we did was you go back to your hotel or your Airbnb, and then you put all your backs on and you bring all your things. What I didn't know is that some of the things that I could have had, like, some in this particular event. I don't know if this is everywhere. I just know, like, this is how it was here. You could bring paintings from previous work. So I really didn't have that. The only thing extra that I did that was not on my list of where to go was I just could not pass up the opportunity to get to paint the that Roanoke Lighthouse, and I had painted that with you, and I just wanted to paint it. So that's the only, and I did bring it. So that was the only thing that I had that really wasn't on my to do or to go to list. And I put all the backs on everything, and then you're rushing, or I was rushing, because you got to put all your backs on, and then I had to get back to the Cupola House, and pretty much you're given an area where you're going to be, and I sat up over there, and it was from like 5 to 7. And so that was pretty much, I can't think of it. Oh, and the other thing that if I to do again, and why I didn't think about this, well, it's because it's my first time doing anything like this, is why I didn't think about it. But I did not bring bug spray, and at the Hayes farm, there were all kind of little gnats and bugs that were annoying. So I wish I did bring sunscreen, but I wish I had brought the bug spray. And I'm trying to think and paint at the same time. I think that's pretty much all that happened. I honestly thought, like, that I would have more. I was more ambitious. I should have known that it does take time to paint, and I should have realized, you know what, you're not going to have all this extra sketchbook time that you're planning, and I wouldn't have brought all my sketchbook stuff. If to do again, I would have definitely toned that part down. And also, I don't think I would have brought. I definitely would have brought an easel. Oh, and that's the other thing, is being there or around people that do this all the time. I saw one not sketchbook, but one easel set up that I thought was, there's two actually. One was was it the inbox? And then the other one that I thought was a really nice setup was the arrow track. The arrow track looked so nice, and he said that it really was one of his favorites, and one that he felt like cost-wise was very reasonable. I know before going, I actually did look into purchasing one. And for me, if I wasn't committed to being a plein air artist more than what I'm a hobbyist, right? And I just could not, I just couldn't see purchasing $1,000 of a Strata or, whatever the fancy ones were. I can't do that. And then we get to the other thing is, and then the house we stayed in, oh my gosh, it was so cute. It was really, really cute. But upstairs, it was the ceiling was an A-frame. So the bed was right here. And then you have this. Well, you could not stand up. We called it the Hobbit house because you literally could not stand up in that house and not hit your head. So, that was kind of fun, but it was a great house. It really was. And he had it just stocked with anything you could have wanted. He had in there. So, and he was super, super nice. And the food, we had such good food. And we get up on that final day, and our flight did not take off until 8:30 at night. And so we had so much, time just to figure out what we wanted to do. So we just Googled things to do in Norfolk. And that's when we went to the Battleship, Wisconsin, and it's a whole museum over there. And I will put that, it's self-explanatory, but I will put all of some of our footage from that. If you are interested in that, I'll put that at the end of this video. I'm gonna just add a little bit of this. So yeah, that was pretty much the trip. Oh, and the other thing I was going to tell you was my sketchbook situation. Well, I have a sketchbook for, this is going to sound crazy, but I have a sketchbook for titles. Like if I hear a song or something on the radio and I'm like, oh, that would be an awesome title, I'll write it down. So I have a sketchbook for that. If I see something online, like a great recipe, I have a sketchbook for recipes. I also have a planner that I'm trying to keep up with. So I am trying to organize and figure out just a better system that I can I combine all of these crazy sketchbooks into one. The other thing is we're going to Alaska in September. The other thing I want to do is the girls are going with me also. And I want to I don't want a junk journal, but I want to have a journal that I can put all the things that you get, like, you get this and your plane ticket stub and, things like that. Things that I don't necessarily want to put in a sketchbook that I'm exploring different paintings and things like that. But I would like kind of more of a traveler's notebook thing. So this afternoon, we have a stationery store here, and I'm going to go look and see if I can find something that I can kind of combine all my interest into just one setup. And I would like to keep it by my bed too, like if I see something that I want to remember, or a book I'm reading, a quote from my book, and I'd like to be able to just, keep that by my bed and do, not journaling, but there are some things during the day that I wouldn't mind jotting down and remembering if I can find something like that. All right, I will leave you with a quick tour of the museum that we went to. That was a lot of fun, and I will see you next week. And maybe next week I will have more information on what journal I ended up going with. So, all right, I hope you got a sketchbook page done, and I will see you next week. You have to duck.
I feel like that. Maybe I don't.
Look at this old computer.
Excel's office.
Ship's assistant, right? And so what they did is they took a regular joiner screen, they took a regular joiner door and put it in there.